All right, so let's kick the recordings off. So this is going to talk about a very tragic story about an ex-cop named Rickie Bailey, who I think his relatives are predicted that he would die a violent death at some point in his life, and that destiny was fulfilled recently when he went to this New Year's, um, went to this get together at this when he came back to Jamaica, and some mysterious assailant does killed him right on the spot. So let's read the article. Ex-Detective Corporal of Police Rickie Bailey, who will turn 54 tomorrow, was gunned down near dawn on New Year's Day in what relatives believe could be destiny. Bailey knows a cop who took the fight to gunmen, left Jamaica 18 years ago for Canada after learning he was marked for death, said his father, Harold Bailey, the New York correspondent for the Jamaica Observer. Oh, sorry, I made a mistake. I think his family didn't warn him, but I think some other people warned him, from what I understand. So my apologies for that mistake right there. Police investigating gunshots in the vicinity of Sabina Park Cricket Stadium in East Kingston found ex-cop suffering from multiple gunshot wounds about 5 a.m. on Melbourne Road. He was pronounced at the hospital. The corporate communication unit confirmed. All right, so let's get more into sad story. All right, Bailey was leaving the black and white parties. He was said to have attended early on his visit home from Alberta, Canada. All right, so that gives a setup right there that he attended this annual get party, and apparently some people at the party made note of his routine and basically were just laying in wait for him. So obviously, whoever killed him knew he was going to be at that particular time and just ambushed him. So all right, so he Bailey was leaving the black and white party. He was said to have attended. Repeating myself. Yearly on his visit home from Alberta, Canada, where he has lived for the past 10 years. He was not robbed of his valuables or his car. He was likely first murdered for 2020. And he said, quote unquote, said, his father said, family was very concerned about safety when intelligence emerged that a hit had been taken out on him. We encouraged him to leave Ireland. He chose Canada, where he got married and settled down, said the elder Bailey. Some believe that's destiny. It just seems that's where he's fated to go. People don't escape their destiny, added Bailey, unable to master the stress and pain losing the eldest of his three sons. The CCU said cops took in one fake gun and two legal firearms from Sabine Park after patrol right so like a gun salute celebrated New Year. They did not immediately connect it to the shooting on Bailey. Another twist of fate, correspondent Bailey received the shocking news of his son's death as writing in his last paragraph of a story that Jamaicans diaspora expressed great concern with high murder rate above 1,300 in their homeland in 2019. And sadly, this is still bound to continue. The news story, which was carried in last Friday's edition of the newspaper, tell Jamaicans overseas offer to join fight against crime, said the highest murder rate was forcing many Jamaicans abroad to either think or put up plans to return home to invest to help build the country. All right. All right, and they do get some quotes, but this is basically saying due to a lot of these the violence here, all these murders that happen, especially to returning residents, people are basically rethinking their options, unfortunately, and who can blame him in some cases. Meanwhile, the mother of Snake ex-cop, Harris Thompson, said, on time of the death of my son Ricky, I shattered my entire world. Not only was he my son, because my best friend is like, okay, that was creepy right there. She said he's like a husband. Nah, I did not need to read that. So let's just keep it pushing on there. Yeah. Observer really wish he had not quoted that, and I really wish I had not read that. Um, but yeah, she could have rephrased that in a better way. But I digress. So, Dad Harold Bailey said it would take a long time to get over his son's killing. All right, and I understand like his parents to lose a child in a violent way. And go and say that he had served police force for several years, including at the Hunts Bay police station before migrating in 2001. He lived in Toronto, Canada for a short time and then moved to Calgary, was living up till the time of his death. So that's pretty much it. So overall, yeah, that's a pretty messed up story. I mean, like he was, yeah, I think people say that fate can be a tricky and cruel thing at times because he was like he's been known for a while that he was going to be just targeted, mostly by some criminal he helped bust or maybe the relative of some criminal he helped take down. And the thing is, unfortunately, for our cop police officers who, even when they leave the police force, they're still marked in a sense that they're probably more marked now that they know that they're of the police force. So 'cause you have to think to remember is that a lot of these criminals, the ones especially ones you make enemies of while having a badge, they have a long memory, right? And the thing is that even if it take decades, years, whatever, all right, it's like they'll still hold on and remember you. They have to the heart that they're going to make you pay. And obviously, this was whoever had put hit him all those years, or maybe had more diverse enemies who wanted to take him out. And I think they just took note of that. Oh, he's in Jamaica at this black and white party at this time of the year, so let's just basically willing to wait for him. And that's a fucked up thing to just happen. And the thing is, what I would say is that I wasn't there. I don't know how it fully went down, but I was just kind of concerned as like even if he's an ex-cop and so on, like wouldn't he have had a firearm? Well, I think they said he had a firearm on him. Let me just read that clearly so I don't um just so I don't read it wrong. All right, but I think it's just all right. Try to read the part where it said that he might have had a firearm, but the thing is, yeah, he didn't mention he had a firearm. But I think like if he knew that he's a marked man in Jamaica, like he should have had. I'm wondering why he didn't have a firearm or likely have an entourage of people with you. I mean, that's just my thinking. I mean, maybe he didn't really have that many people like who was looking out for him. I don't know. I mean, like I'm just saying is that if I were in that position, if I had the resources, I had connections, I definitely would not be going to public outings unless I'm strapped or if I have an entourage of people who are looking out for me. That's basically what I'm saying. 'Cause I think Wise indicated he probably made the mistake of thinking that okay, just because I've been going safely, been going to these events all these years that maybe I escaped my fate. And thing is, as I said, that a lot of these criminals, a lot of these people who are vindictive and out for blood, they have long memories, right? Cause you may think, okay, maybe people forgot about him or let it go, but nope. That's just basically some people, like I said, can hold on to grudges, and people who can hold on to grudges and are capable of doing anything. Those are the most dangerous people to ever you're going to deal with, cause if they are, cause you may think after a while that time passes that they move on, but nope. They'll hold on to that grudge, and if they get a chance to take you out, yeah, they'll take you out. And this is obviously what happened to this cop. 'Cause this was a hit. There was no mistaking that this was a hit on by someone who wanted him dead. Maybe all right. Question is, who wanted him dead? Who particular? Did he have a particular enemy? Did he have more than one enemy? I don't know, but I think unfortunately this is kind of object lesson at the same time. Is that unfortunately is come part where if you have means and resources, you're gonna, especially have some people, especially as an ex-cop, ex-military, or so on. Like you're going to have that, have a firearm at you at all costs, or if you're going to be moving, especially in some public places, you're going to have a crew of people you know you can trust. All right, that you're going to roll out with, because a lot of these people want to take a hit out of you. They're not likely to try anything if they know that you're strapped. They know you're strapped, or you know that you're on guard, and better if you know they have people looking out for you, who basically would about that life, who are not who are quick on on the trigger finger. So that's just basically an object lesson, though. Is that I don't know the guy. Don't Can't say what kind of person he was. I'm not going to say whether or not he deserved it, but this is just an object lesson, though. And people, like I said, especially nowadays, if you have means and resources, just learn from this and said, okay, if like I said, like just if you know you have your target, you have a target on your head. All right, at least be prepared for anything. All right. I don't know if he said he got married. I don't know if he had any kids, but my condolences goes out to his family in Canada, but that's all I have to say. So that's a very tragic, sad story. And again, for those other Jamaicans, just learn something from this and learn, unfortunately, The world is a very dangerous place. Jamaica is a fine example of that. But this is for State of Jamaica and the Caribbean. Check out my YouTube pages. Miles Gussenfern and Miles Productions. Okay.